I didn't necessarily wrap my head around what it actually meant.
Then I see this message come through from you, and dude, I was gobsmacked.
I felt like I tried to check in on you like every year or so.
Brain goes straight to worst case scenario, like, oh, they're gonna like treat me really weirdly and like ask about it all the time.
You just dropped that cake all over.
I did, yeah, I did. Now it's on camera. Just tiny slides.
So welcome. These are my friends. This is George and Toby and Nath. And I'm going to ask them some questions today. How do you know me?
We went to school together.
Yeah. Oh, friends since we were 12, probably. Like,
Yeah.
back in year 7.
Yeah.
Long time now.
We go way back.
We do.
It's crazy.
We
then,
do.
then we all played tennis together and stuff.
Oh yeah, true,
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
we
true.
did play tennis.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Well, thanks for coming. I will ask some questions and we'll get a bit of a conversation going. When did you guys, because I know all of you found out at different times, I think. Like, when did you find out about my condition and what did you think?
I found out when you were, I think we were 16. I remember we were on the Oval. I was after school, and you told me. And at that point, I think it was pretty early in your diagnosis. Like, you were still killing me at tennis, you know, like we'd do sport and you'd be like, because you are so like gifted sport wise, you would like, I don't think there was a huge difference at that point. And I remember you kind of told me it was like progressive and it was fine for now, but it would get a bit worse over time. And so I don't think I thought too much of it at the time.
I think I would have found out probably around a similar age, maybe younger. But it wasn't anything that I didn't necessarily wrap my head around what it actually meant. It was kind of a word, muscular dystrophy, but it didn't really have too much attached to it. And I don't think it really, made much. Well, not that it made any of a difference, but it didn't mean much, going through high school. When I really kind of found out was when you told me about it at the Oval. That was when I kind of I actually understood what was happening. That was the first time we talked about it.
Like you understood the full extent of it. Yeah.
That's
But
true.
no, I did kind of know, but I didn't really know what was going on. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a week before I posted the first video. Yeah, I think I just wanted to like tell someone.
Yeah.
I was like,
I remember you kind of saying that it was, reach that point where you wanted to tell someone, and then.
I know when I found out, we were talking about this the other night actually. Well, I just had a massive night the night before up in Sydney. Like, a few of us are up there. I'm just waking up, sort of getting into my day at my laptop. Then I see this message come through from you, and dude, I was gobsmacked. Like, it I wouldn't say it like had like affected me deeply, but it did definitely affect me. I was like, damn, I feel really bad, like for you. And then I watched the video and I was like, it was really well made, but also I didn't know anything. Like, I had no idea. So it was pretty shocking. It was a big shock, definitely.
yeah, that's interesting.
Just not something I would have picked.
Because I did try to hide it for like as long as possible. Like, I think it reached a point where I kind of making up too many excuses as to like why I couldn't do stuff.
Well, they fooled me.
Yeah, that is interesting though, Nate, that you were kind of blindsided by it. Because I remember when you told me openly, it was like, it wasn't a shock because it kind of, I'd heard it before, but so it was more just, interesting to find out what it meant, a bit more about it.
So how do you think you guys would have reacted if I told you when I first got diagnosed?
Because I think I understood what it was, like, as a progressive disorder. I think I kind of got that. But I think I wish I'd like asked how you wanted me to support you, or like if you wanted anything from me. I think at the time you might have said no, or you might have said, we'll see what happens and stuff. But that I knew for so many years, I felt like I tried to check in on you like every year or so.
You did, yeah.
Maybe you weren't at the place you wanted to talk about it too much or anything, but I feel like I wish I'd thought about how that diagnosis would impact you more, because I didn't know you were having a tough time for quite a long time. If I had the hindsight of like the fact, like, I guess like how disabilities impact people and stuff. Obviously the purpose of this video is kind of like, hopefully for people who their friends got a disability or something.
Yeah.
Why do you think that was? Why did you think you didn't feel able to talk about it, and now like you obviously are much more able to talk about it?
I think getting involved in other stuff, so I can kind of say, it shouldn't be like this, but like I got involved in sport and then I was like, because I'm doing something else, like I'm doing something about it, now I feel comfortable enough to talk about it. So it kind of like validates that when it shouldn't really be like that at all.
I guess for this question, Cal, because I did kind of find out at that age, but it wasn't through you.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was
I mean,
that me?
Yeah. No. It was
it
through,
Sandy?
no, it was through our parents, but
Oh.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually haven't spoken to my parents about who they told.
Yeah.
Because now
yeah.
I obviously don't care because it's on YouTube. So.
Well, yeah.
No, you're trying to downplay it.
Yeah. It was through my mum who spoke to your mum about it.
Mm.
So then I wasn't sure whether it was something I could bring up with you, and I just didn't.
Yeah.
And also that's on me that I didn't ever bring it up. But I suppose that wasn't an issue for you because you weren't ready to talk about it openly anyway. So Nathan, did you just drop that cake all over?
I did, yeah, I did. Now it's on camera. Just tiny slides.
So yeah, I guess I did find out, and the way I kind of reacted was by not really talking about it, not really checking in on you.
That's interesting because I remember, because we used to skate, obviously.
Yeah.
And it was kind of hard to explain why I used to be able to like do tricks and then I slowly couldn't do them anymore.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you knew that whole time.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think I knew, but I never even kind of clocked that was... Maybe I thought, back then, obviously being that age, I thought it would be something that would affect you kind of, maybe 40, 50.
Yeah, right. Okay.
At that age, but I just thought you weren't really interested in skating that much.
Which is just stop. Yeah.
So I suppose there were some things that I could link the two, but then when I was younger, I don't think I really linked the two much.
I don't know how I would have reacted if
No,
I found out because I'd like to think I would have reacted great and whatever, but also like I would have been so young. So I probably wouldn't have.
Exactly.
I probably would have, because I was obsessed with sport, I probably would have been like, damn, dude, like that really sucks and felt bad for you. I might have also seen like, oh, now I can finally beat this guy. You always used to be way better than me.
How would you have wanted people to react if you'd told them when you were younger?
Yeah, good question.
For like the last 10 years, I've assumed just like brain goes straight to worst case scenario. Like, oh, they're going to like treat me really weirdly and like ask about it all the time and like that sort of thing. So I think that's where my mind went, was like, I don't really want this sort of, I don't want people to talk about the elephant in the room kind of thing. Like, if I was younger, I don't know, I think kids can be kind of like no filter when they're that age. Especially people who aren't your close mates. Like, I think obviously you guys would have been completely fine, but like, people have said stuff in the past, like just offhand comments that like they probably think that's kind of fine. But to me, I was like, oh.
I really can't imagine how you'd have a group of friends that wouldn't accept you with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that'd be horrible, yeah.
Whoever you told about your diagnosis kept a good secret, because I had literally zero clue.
Yeah.
Like, I had zero clue, not even an inkling.
Okay, so can you share anything that's been eye-opening regarding my disability?
I think it's been pretty eye-opening for me, like the way you've handled it, because when I first found out, as I think I said, I felt so bad for you. And I was like, damn, I was thinking of all the negative things, basically. But then I think the way you've handled it, at least recently, has been super positive. Like, in terms of, you made a video saying the benefits of it. Like, you can park close to stores, you can go into wheelchair tennis, like the opportunities that you've got that you wouldn't otherwise have. So I think the way you've sort of handled it and your outlook on it has been eye-opening for me, in terms of like, when you get a setback in life, it really is about how you respond to it, not what the setback is. So yeah, I've definitely found it like motivating and stuff, seeing the way you've handled it.
Thanks, man. I realise it's kind of like a bit of a vain question, this one. Like, oh, tell me how good I am, kind of vibe.
I definitely agree, Nate, for sure. I think for me, the most eye-opening thing was realising how many excuses that I kind of just accepted were, covering up. And I don't mean that
No.
in a bad way, but like, yeah, you really kind of did go to like, lengths to skirt around the issue.
Yeah.
And I think like my reaction was like, wow, like that would have been so kind of difficult for you to have like almost a web of like, things you've said and we're covering up here and there. I there were like, you know, a few ones that I looked back on and I was like, oh, okay, that I understand now. That was probably, you know, it probably wasn't.
I reckon like what was eye-opening for me would have been just how like positively having a community impacted you, because I think it's the same with like all things like, you know, bereavement and all that. Like people want someone that they can relate to talk with, and that makes it so much easier. And it seems like having that community was kind of what made you want okay speaking with us. I think it just like emphasizes like to me like, yeah, it's really important to have people who you like can actually like they can understand you and you can understand them for all kinds of issues, but especially disability as well.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, because I think when I started, because I didn't really meet anyone who had disabilities, like properly talk to them or anything. But when I did, I felt kind of comfortable straight away, because I know because they also have a disability, they're not going to like judge me straight away.
Well, we can't, you know, relate to your experience because, we just, you know, we don't know what it's like, so...
On the judging people point, I think it's been eye-opening for me as well that like you really don't know what people are going through. Like, so friends with you for years, and I had no idea about. Like, I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like looking back, I've probably like, you know, yelled at you in some soccer game, run faster or something.
Yeah.
Like, and so looking back, I'm like, one, like, don't do that because you don't know what people are going through. But yeah, just like judge people less because you really have no idea.
How has being friends with someone who has a disability changed the way you think about disability or people with disabilities?
I think it makes me at least more understanding of people with disabilities and more aware. Like, because I said at the start, I didn't really know anyone with a disability. So now that I do, it kind of opens your mind up to like different challenges. Yeah, it makes you appreciate, you know, things that you kind of took for granted. There's definitely some perks to having a friend with a disability in terms of like we can like follow you like in terms of your wheelchair tennis journey. Like I think if you know that goes well, that would be really cool to see and be a part of.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Also, we could, you know, park close.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we're going to the shops, I'm taking you, Cal.
I guess how inspiring that's been for you, Cal, and also for us, like to see that happen, you know, and how like almost in a way like enabling it's been. Like this is a disability, but it's opened, you know, this avenue for you to kind of have your YouTube channel and you know, parasport. So
I don't know, I feel like I wasn't like judging people or like being too hard on people either way. Like I don't want to say that, just to clarify. But just like when people are not going well, like there's probably heaps more reasons than you think.
well, yeah, I mean the only reason, and this is something I like just came across in a reading I was doing for uni, but the only reason why like disability is like stigmatized is because inherently things aren't accessible. Like things are built with like a fully able person in mind, so that, you know, already people like a disability is going to be stigmatized because the entire world kind of is just built around the assumption that everyone's able-bodied, which is not true, obviously.